Day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Better Catholics. Once again, I'm Father Melvin.
I'm Bishop Ryan.
I'm Donna Flores.
I'm Father Charlie.
Father Charlie came all the way from Cagmad. It's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place. Actually, I've been there to your church. I've been to the area. I actually went with one of our staff here. He showed me around. It's a beautiful place. I wish I could go back.
I hope you're not spying.
But Cagman also has the Forbidden Island,
Yes.
beautiful landscape,
Beautiful.
And
places
that's where we went. You know, that's where we try to visit the Forbidden Island. It's not really that forbidden. You shouldn't forbid people from going to that place.
Did you go down there? Did you walk?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Trek.
Donna, have you been
Never
there?
had
I
to.
have not.
Oh my gosh. So I can just proudly say I've been there
We've done it.
several
I've
times.
Been there,
there.
done that. Lucky.
I've been
One
up
day.
there on
Maybe.
the rock. I've been
Maybe.
up to the rock.
It's a beautiful hike.
Mhm.
Of course, it's more
Mhm.
challenging coming
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we're
But,
blessed with
It
Forbidden
shouldn't be
Island.
forbidden. It should be for everybody. In the spirit of synodality, is everybody should be welcomed in that place, and everybody should be able to experience the beauty of Cagman.
It's just a name.
Yes. and right on. It's the topic that we're going to talk about today is about synodality. So this is more like a follow-up on what had been done in the process of the diocesan synod on synodality.
Mhm.
In the past months, what we tried to do is to reach out to the different sectors in our community. We tried to reach out to the LGBT community. We tried to reach out to the farmers, to the Refalawash community. What else?
And to the youth.
And to the youth.
Yeah.
Yes. And we also, I know that Father Charlie did a wonderful job in trying to reach out to the clergy as well. This is part of the process of the Synod on Synodality. And this is not the end. We are going to do more. This is just the beginning. It's just the first layer of the cake,
Mhm.
you know, so to speak. So we are going to talk about what we've done so far.
Sure.
You know, and how about Father Charlie? Say something about yourself, your ministry. Are you still happy? I'm just kidding.
Is this about synodality or Father Charlie being happy in the diocese?
I'm happy with the synodality. Well, when the Holy Father told us about the synodality, my first thought, being the vicar of clergy, was to talk about to the individual clergy in the diocese, because the thought of the Holy Father is about listening with the people in the peripheries. Not that we are in the peripheries, I guess, with the clergy, but I think this is my responsibility also to listen to the priest, at least what they want, if they have something to share, for us to journey together.
Mhm.
And I did it last January.
Mhm.
Together with the deacons as well, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the deacons also.
Yeah.
And there was a fruitful dialogue.
Mhm.
It was a dialogue. You know, I told him, I just want to listen. I'm not here to tell you what to do,
Right.
but I
right.
want you to tell me what you want me to listen and to tell, to be included in the report and the synodality.
And Donna, I would like to share also, to you and on behalf of our lay people, that this process is also something new in terms also of leadership and management, because
Right.
in the past it really is just like everything has to be done by the bishop. And so by having Father Charlie as the vicar for clergy and vicar general, he really spent time, when he did that one-on-one with the priest. Priests still have access, obviously, to the ordinary, but it's good to have that sense of regularity. And really, when you talk about synodality and being in as a community and one, so there's that element of, I guess, the sharing, the freedom to kind of speak one's mind with the intention of helping.
Yes.
He was not there to police and say
No.
this and that, but how can the church, the local church, assist also the needs of the individual priests and deacons?
Okay, that's interesting. And I think that's any successful organization, that's usually a process for it, right? You are the titular head. So sometimes they hesitate to go directly up. So it's nice to have somebody who's down at ground level to listen and solicit, suggestions or concerns, just things that you can be the liaison to the bishop, because, and also, you have so many other responsibilities. So it's good to share the load with all the others in the what do you call it, in the diocese.
Yes.
So I think that's pretty good. And, you have the personality, Polly Charlie, you're approachable. And I think it's easy for anyone to come and talk to you, whatever, whatever hat they wear, whether it's a fellow priest or just somebody out in the community. I've known you for so many years, so that smile still sits on your face very well. So it's so easy to come up and talk to you. So I think just to have that, you need somebody with that personality.
Yeah.
And I think he has that. So I think he's very approachable, and I think he has the demeanor to open people up and engage them in conversation, and then bring those issues to you as well.
Yes. And also another feature that what we did through also the help of Father Melvin, Deacon Rosicki, and Father Michael, was that instead of doing the usual Paris-based dialogue, conversation, consultation, we also focus on the different sectors. You mentioned earlier about the LGBTQ+, something that perhaps, was a first for our diocese, because even just to engage in a conversation, other people might perceive it as a controversy. And Deacon Rosicki did spend time with the farmers and with his wife, Auntie Winnie. And for me, that's also something that, we listen to them and the migrant workers. And of course, as a youth minister, Father Melvin, you spent a lot of time also with the minister. So having consulted the different sectors, I believe was late June or early July that the report that was due to the region, the CPAC, the Bishops' Conference, we submitted our report. And thanks to our Chancellor for helping us put together. Yay, I think he deserves a round of applause also.
Of course.
And I kept on also demanding him, Father Melvin, this and that. And so every jurisdiction in the region, Guam, Marshall Islands, FSM, Fiji, Samoa, we were required. And so this document now is being put together by the region and will be sent to Rome. And then after that, we will hear from Rome on what would be perhaps, the main features that all of us in the Pacific Islands share. And that would be relayed back to us. But we didn't have to wait for that time.
Exactly.
And what we can do is make use of the outcome of those listening sessions, of those consultations, as a way for us to move forward. Say, for example, our pastoral plan will end by this year. And so the how do you pronounce this? Data.
Yes.
Data. What do people say this data?
That. Well, tomato, right?
All right.
It still means the same thing.
So the data can be used in next year. I would like to spend the year to kind of just, track again, where are we headed? And so those information would really be helpful. Sorry, I should keep quiet because we have Father Charlie as our guest, and how come I'm the one defending what we have doing?
And why are you defending?
No,
that's a good thing.
And I think, Bishop, even though we have submitted the report already to the region, we don't stop talking about synodality to inform our parish councils, finance councils, and other members of the church who are interested. What is synodality? Because some are still asking, what is synodality? So we don't stop talking about this. We need to discuss this more with our people.
And in the mind of the Holy Father, he doesn't want it just to be another concept or another report,
right?
But something that people would really experience. The experience is, more than anything else, it's more important than the required report because, Donna, you can always make a nice and A++ report, but what good would that report be if it doesn't affect the lives of the people?
Yeah, it's good that we are doing these things. I'd like to pick up on what Father Charlie tried to do with the clergy. The fruits of that dialogue with the priests Was it what kind of experience was it?
Actually, I was nervous too at the
Yes.
beginning because I don't know what to expect,
Mhm.
what they're going to tell me, what they're going to accuse me of, things like that, even the diocese for that matter. But I guess every one of them said, thank you so much for having this session, having this dialogue that, we are able to talk freely and, someone is listening to us.
Mm.
And that's why it was very helpful. And many shared about, against somebody, against something like that. And I think it's very natural in organization. And we are not spared being a diocese also. But it's not about accusing someone. It's about listening to them, what is in their hearts.
Right.
So that we can address them and we can help them and we can move forward being a diocese also. We can journey together.
Yes.
Not that one is trying to be, I'm not important. I'm not needed, things like that.
Right.
But when I did that, everyone was free to talk. And they did. But the overall thing is that they were all thankful for having that opportunity to say their piece.
Yes. Some probably just vented out, and
Yes.
their emotion, but at least they got to release whatever they wanted to say for a very long time, maybe. But did you get any suggestion, recommendations from the
Yes,
dialogue?
of course.
Yes.
They expressed many things actually about on our dialogue, in our discussions, like, being together, about being together, togetherness, being as clergy, just even going out for a simple pizza, things like that, or a game, or,
Yes.
being together
Yes.
rather than being seen individually doing individual things. I mean, if we are a diocese, we are a community, then
Right.
we need to be seen together also, rather than a priest there, a priest somewhere else, things like
Yes.
that. And I think that was very productive in that sense.
I think it's a beautiful analysis or a beautiful suggestion, at least on the priest or priests who suggested that, to have some moments for the priests, for the clergy in the diocese to get together, hang out, do karaoke,
Yes.
eat and or stay by the beach, just being together, because that we are creating a synodal spirit within the clergy. And we should be the authority of synodality within the diocese, or the authority figures within the diocese in terms of synodality. But if we are not, we don't have the synodal spirit in the clergy, within the clergy, how can we preach about it?
And actually, people sense it.
Yes.
If we preach about unity, togetherness, and we are not practicing it,
Exactly.
we cannot fake it.
Yes.
It shows. And I recall pre-pandemic times, Father Charlie, you did an awesome job in organizing events. Like, we went to the beach, you ordered lechon, although it's not healthy, but it's good. You had games and
Yes.
even like fiestas, like the gatherings we had, that's only for priests, because sometimes when, the gathering would, not that we don't want to include others, but there's a time for that. So, singing, doing this karaoke thing, even
a glass of wine or a bottle of beer,
I refrain from saying that.
I mean,
For a few months.
Remember, all the work clergy, we are human too.
You sure
Right.
are.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it. We are all human. So,
Exactly.
no one is greater than the other. Although some of us, for certain reasons, we put others on a pedestal. Like I said before, most of us here, that's what we do, right? We put our priests up on a pedestal. You are our go-to people. You hear our secrets, our fears. We ask so many things of you. So you are our leaders, and you guys need to be together. Like the bishop said, you practice what you preach. But if we sense that there's a rift, then we start to question, can we really rely? And I know it's a big load to put on you as priests, but our Catholic faith, that's what we were taught all these years. The priest is the go-to person, right? So it's just, it's just a wonderful thing, isn't it? I mean, life is that's just how it works. We're all human in the end. We all need that team building in our organization. Yes. We all need that sense of belonging, the motivation. We all need that. So yeah, it's good that you separate the priest from the rest of there's a time and place.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just for you guys to see, not for others to see.
Yeah.
So that I think
and loosen
beautiful.
up.
Yeah,
right?
and loosen up because of that pressure of us looking up to you, it should just be at your level, your colleagues, right? If you want to say your colleagues, fellow priests, colleagues.
Yes, yeah. And also like as in addition to what Father Charlie did, what you did in really spending that one-on-one time with the priests and the deacons. So when there were matters that needed to be addressed, then Father Charlie then would share with me. I mean, if there were others that, he didn't have to share with me, but only the ones that I needed to respond as well. And so the beauty of that is that, it's not just me doing the thing. There's another listener. And as an advocate, like, we need to address this. And in fact, from that, then I can bring the concerns in a diocesan, setup called the College of Consultors. Let's talk about this. No, this is now in the external forum. It's not in the internal forum. And how can we best respond to this need? So I think it's a beautiful thing because it's not so hierarchical. Like, okay, right. I'm the bishop. I do what I want. I decide. There is that process of consultation, listening that Father Charlie did. And this will be brought up in a group of priests who are members of the consultative board, the board of consultors. And then we make a communal decision, right? So I'm also learning in the process because, I think we all were in the seminary also were in, okay, the head has the final say. Does that work like that in your line of work?
Yes, but, that's a democracy.
Yes,
so you can experience that in your line of work.
Yeah.
Of course, you listen to the people and you entrust someone to be there to gather the information and pacify anything that he's able to do, bring the concerns back. Then you meet with the General Assembly and you come to a conclusion, you come to an agreement. That's a democracy. So it's wonderful to hear that happens also here in a diocese.
Thank you.
We're people.
And it was a process of not labeling anyone. This is what you're saying.
Yes.
I will mark that this way. No, it wasn't that way. It was like, really, if this is about synodality, then we did first the listening process with the clergy before we went out to the different sectors.
So now the COVID restrictions are really kind of, not that strict. When do we schedule our next picnic or karaoke? And then Donna will donate the roasted pig.
No, I will not donate the pig. I'll donate the karaoke.
But every once in a while, we do it in the parish, invite other priests to come. These are ways of, being synodal in a way to within the clergy, to practice that synodal spirit. I'd like to pick up on what you were talking about earlier, wherein you said to this effect that people should have someone to talk to when they have grievances, when they have concern. They should have someone to talk to in the diocese, probably a person, an office that they can come. And I don't know. We don't probably have that here in the diocese, but I actually received, I got that in one of my conversations. A suggestion came up saying, why don't we have an office wherein a lay person can come and talk and
mediate?
Yeah. Just to listen to the person that has a concern, a particular concern. It could be about the parish, or it could be about the parish priest. It could be anything. What's happening within the different groups in the parish, wherein they can vent out, or open up. Let's say open up to the priest. to
why
be heard,
not?
just to be
Yeah.
heard. Yeah, that actually came up.
Yeah.
So that's the fruit of synodality. Again, people are expressing things that they think could be beneficial to the diocese, to the priests, and to the people.
And I think that's a healthier approach to talk to the person concerned,
Right.
and whether through a third person, a mediator or whatnot,
Right.
rather than going to social media and,
Exactly.
and
Of
airing your
course.
grievances.
Yes.
True.
Of course.
And it's
Yeah.
more personal.
Mhm.
Of course, you
Yeah.
go to social media, you go to Facebook. That's it gets out of control very easily. It's like wildfire, and we cannot control it. If somebody takes a picture of screenshot of what the person posted, a negative post about someone or about something in the church, then that's it. It's like wildfire. You cannot control. It's hard to control it. But if the person can come and talk to a person, actual person, wherein they can express their sentiments, that will be beneficial.
I think that's each priest's role, right? For us to really have that capacity to sit down, to listen, and allow the person to speak up. In my 19 years as a priest, I know it's a lot easier to hear persons who would come to you and talk about wonderful things, successes, accomplishments.
Right.
But when it's when it's about complaints and difficult tasks, sometimes we kind of this is a different matter. But even with that, I guess it's important for us to hear everything.
Yes.
That's part of our ministry. That's part of our practice as pastoral care workers, as the ordained clergy.
But that's in any organization. I mean, even where I work, the door's open. I mean, I want to hear, because we want to make it better. We want to fix whatever it is and make it better so that people stay or people, come. We're not trying to close our door and say, this is it. Pants it, I mean, there's no
Did you say pants?
I did.
Like the Filipino noodle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it's I'm just being sleepy.
It's like there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it, right? And in our organization, our human resources office is the place where you would go to
something like that.
If it was an employee or a staff you have, and if it's at the school level, it's the principal, it's the priest, right? But sometimes we're not comfortable talking to the priest about it. I am. I bark at him like all the time,
I'm
right?
sure you do.
Yeah. Hey.
Not all the time.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But like you said, it's a venting session, and hopefully there's an outcome, right? You get feedback from. You're not just left hanging, right? So I think it's important to have that, and that's the success of an organization. That's what makes it work. That's what keeps the camaraderie and the morale up.
Right.
And especially if it's a morale issue within your organization, then really the team building and all that is very important. And who are you to be left out of that just because you're priests, right?
Yeah, that's part of the synodal, listening process. We listen to the people as much as we can, and we should have, time really to listen to them. So that it was just one of the many suggestions that came out. When I talked to the LGBT community, I talked to this one kid, and that he just wants to see the church to have a more open mind, towards the LGBTQIA plus community.
Well, thank you for that, Polly Melvin, because in the end, we just look for acceptance, right? If we're just wandering sheep out there, we're looking for some guidance. We're looking for a shepherd, and we just want to be accepted, right? Anybody, no matter what.
Sure, of course.
Right? Any identification, any gender, just people. We long for that, for acceptance somewhere. And what more to a more welcoming community than our Catholic
Yes.
community. This is what we know. This is what we've grown up knowing.
Mm.
This is what we value. And then any sense of rejection or reluctance for admittance,
Mm.
that really impacts a person's
Yes.
life. And, here we are trying to bring people back to the church, and we're doing all this outreach and all these efforts. So I really hope it all comes back together and
Mm.
we're able to, of course, not defy the laws of the church, but can we just find some leeway? How are we
Right.
going to bring people back to us?
Yes.
Man,
A meeting place,
Yes.
maybe we can compromise. I don't know. But as long as we can build a community
Yeah.
that works together.
When you
journeys
say the word of
together.
meeting place, when you talk about synonym, a word that I like is convergence.
Yes,
Wherein
yeah.
Mm.
your point of view, my point of view, and the others. And I think that's the beauty of synodality, allowing the person to speak
Mhm.
without judgment, respecting, and hopefully through this we can converge
Mhm.
Yes.
somehow. That's my word for the
Right,
day.
Nice.
Yes. Oh,
Good word.
Converge. That is good.
I'll keep
I
it in the
remember
memory.
that. Converge.
And I commend that person who came to you and talk
Yes.
about.
Yes.
It take courage actually,
Yeah.
Yes.
especially with this very sensitive
Mhm.
issue. And of course, how I wish more young people or even adult people will
Right.
come and freely talk to us
Yes.
so that we can listen to them also.
Right.
And that's part of this process of synodality.
Mhm.
Not only the young people, not only the LGBTQ, not only the farmers, anyone
Yes.
can come to us.
Yes.
And, we are always willing to listen to
Mm.
them also.
I think that's a very good parting word, Father Charlie.
Oh, it's 30 minutes already?
Yes, unfortunately, we have a very limited time. But
Yeah.
Father Charlie, thank you for being with us. I'm sure we're going to see you again for another episode. Yes, some
Thank you.
Final words to our viewers.
To the people of the diocese, we are here to listen to you.
Mhm.
And we want you to come to us and talk to us. No matter what issues you have in life, we are always willing to listen. Let's come and dialogue. Let's talk together. Thank you.
Yes, let's talk together. Let us build a diocese that is synodal, walking together. And perhaps we can make a better church, filled with better Catholic